Good afternoon, keepers of the cash. Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy here, and today, guys, we're just doing something fun. All right. As you all know, if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, I'm a very niche collector. I like very oddball things, and what we're gonna do today is just look at the oddball keys that I picked up in 2023. Things I got out of the way that I wanted to get out of the way. There's a couple major ones in there, but mostly these are really affordable keys. Something that's very niche, just to me, to my taste, very tailored and just what I like, and that's how I collect. I'm not chasing something big just because it's big. I'm not chasing something that I don't read or I don't collect. And usually if those type of books end up in my collection, I trade them for other keys that I like. And usually I can get 2 or 3 keys for one big book sometimes, depending on what that book is, right? So I find ways to trade to get what I want. If I end up with a major key that means nothing to me, I will trade it for a couple smaller keys that actually have personal value to me. Collecting is about the personal meaning to me, the value. And there's no wrong way to collect. You have to collect to what your taste is. If you're collecting for value, there's nothing wrong with that. That's your particular taste. I just collect differently. So this is a reflection of my keys that I picked up in 2023. And I know I picked up even more than this, but these are the ones I'm going to highlight. So first up, and this is going to be very niche. This is if you know me, if you know my channel, you'll understand why I have this in the collection. So we picked up a photo cover and art cover of the first appearance of Xena in comics. All right, so that's just a fun one there. Again, these are like $10 each. They're not expensive keys, but something, if you're a fan, you got them. And her first appearance was, of course, in Hercules issue number 3. So I had to have those. Now, the next one is a character I like a lot. We haven't seen this character a lot, but I think it's going to be an important key in the future. And I wanted to have it in my collection because I'm a big fan of the character. The character of Amy Han, who is, of course, the White Fox in Marvel. So we have the action figure variant of Contest of Champions number 1. And then we have a couple of the A covers. So we got our key covered with the White Fox. There's no doubt in my mind that we'll see her in the Agents of Atlas or Tiger Division at some point in the MCU. Not why I grabbed them. I actually really like Tiger Division. I really like the Amy Han character. Probably my favorite new superhero out is the White Fox. I really enjoy that character a lot. I love reading the stories that she's in. The next key. This is a pure nostalgia key. And this is a key that I have a connection with my son with. Because this is a show that I introduced him to that he loves. And I ended up buying all 4 seasons for him on DVD. And he just has a love for this character. And so do I. It's good, kitschy fun. And it was something of its time. And we're talking about Alf number 1. So, and I got the Star mini comics that actually precluded this. So there we go. We got it in newsstand and direct, I think. Yep. So Alf number 1, had to have it. Just fun. Just looking at this makes me smile, and just a good connection in comics between me and my cat. I just absolutely love that character. Now this next comic I already have, but this is an upgrade. My reader copy is probably a 3.35, maybe even a 4. Who knows? But this is about I think this is like a 7, and this is the Savage She-Hulk number 1. And I know a lot of grumbling, people aren't liking She-Hulk. Doesn't matter. The Savage She-Hulk comic's great. Regardless of what's going on in the media, the books are good. And Savage She-Hulk is a great comic. Absolutely loved it. Great John Buscema cover. Super happy to get an upgrade. So now I have this, and I have my reader copy. And I have that whole 25-issue series. It's a lot of fun. Next up, I traded for this one with a friend of mine named Mike Costco. All right, there was a couple books I had that I didn't really care about, and he saw them and he offered me this, and I said, let's do it. And so this is the first appearance of Predator in a 9.4. So there we go. Just love that cover. It's just absolutely brilliant. Just a great depiction. And why am I blanking on the artist? Cover and art by Chris Warner. So there you go. So beautiful book. But I was also A-OK one earlier in last year too. And this is from Nicholas over at One Shot Comics, and he okayed me this beautiful Predator. So now I have two nice copies of it. This one is 6.5. So I have two of these, each from a different friend, and they'll be going nowhere. These are staying in the collection because of what they mean to me from the people who gave them to me. One I traded for. This one was a gift. So thank you, Nicholas. But Nicholas didn't just send that. Another first appearance I have, and this is the second printing, and this is Aliens #1, the first appearance of the Aliens. So great book. Super happy to get this. Nicholas from One Shot Comics has sent me this too, and I immediately sent them both out because I already have these stories in collected forms to read, but these were an incredible gift, and I wanted to make sure nothing happened to them. So I slobbed them up, and I have them to look at and just remember the kindness of Chris. So of Nick. So thank you, Nick. Really appreciate it, bud. Great books. All right, next up, I have this book in an 8.5. I wanted to upgrade it. The 8.5 I have is a green label because the bottom staple is detached. And it was a major issue with this book when it came out. There's a ton of these with the bottom staple detached. I think it was just a manufacturing defect. And I thought for something like that, they might just pass it and give it the blue label, but no such luck. They green labeled it. I'm still keeping it. I don't care. I know some people look at green labels and it's like a kiss of death. The book looks beautiful. I love it. But I was able to get a 9.0 of Miss Marvel #1. So the first appearance of Carol Danvers as Miss Marvel. All right, so I love this book. I love this whole series. I've read it a couple times. It's fantastic to me. And really liked what Chris Claremont was doing with it towards the end, and just really good stuff. And just one of my all-time favorite characters. Next up, now again, I own this one, probably about 7 or 8 copies, plus I had the first appearance in X-Men. But I finally got one slab this year, and this is in a 9.6, and this is just Dazzler #1. Just another great cover. Just really beautiful. I always love this cover. You got the floating heads and the bubbles, and Dazzler just looking great in the foreground. And yeah, just love it. And, I'm a big Bob Larkin fan, especially for the work he did on Conan, and I thought he knocked it out of the park with this cover. So just fantastic stuff. Next up is another kitschy fun book that I love. And you could probably get this book in this raw and a high grade, probably 30, 40 bucks. So it's not super expensive. Another super affordable key, right? This is Devil Dinosaur #1. All right, so we have Jack Kirby art, and they actually miscredited somebody on the label, which is funny. They put art by Mike Royer, and he did inks, lettering. So he did not do the art. Of course, this is Jack Kirby, but a great issue. Great series. I love all 9 issues. I've read those a couple times. They're just a lot of fun. I have this raw a couple times, but not a high grade like this. They're reader copies. So it's fun to get a good copy, send it in, and to get a 9.6 on it, I was pretty happy. Would I like the 9.8? Yeah, but 9.6 is good. Just a series that I love. A series, like I said, I've read it a few times. It's a great series. It's vastly underrated. It was so much fun, those 9 issues. Next is another key, and this one I had a reader copy of this, probably in like a 3.35. I still have it, but I wanted a near mint copy of it, and so I traded for this, and I got it, and I sent it in, and it came back in 9.0, and I was super happy. This is Avengers Annual #10, of course the first Rogue, but I also love this because we have Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman in it, Carol Danvers in it. So a lot of my favorite heroes are in this book, and it's just one of my favorites. And I know a lot of people hate the cover. I actually like the cover. The cover works for me. So Al Milgram, I think you did a good job, buddy. So, but this is a book I'm happy to get out of the way because at some point it's going to pop big when Rogue hits the MCU. And I just want to have it in my collection so I don't have to overpay for it. I'm just glad to have it. I got it at a good price, and it's staying with me. Next up, this is another character that I wanted to get before it popped eventually and got too expensive to get. And this is the Uncanny X-Men 244. And this is the first appearance of Jubilee. And of course, we have Dazzler on the cover, which is another win for me. But I wanted to get this out of the way before this blew up and it became something that wasn't worth the cost that they were going to charge for it eventually, right? It's a fun issue, and it's just a cool book, and I love the cover. So first Jubilee, happy to get that in the collection now. Now, the last two are biggies. I had a 9.4 of this one, and I was able to get another copy. I paid $20 for a raw copy, which was already a steal. Sent it in and got a 9.8. So this went from a 9.4, which, you know, about a $400 or $500 book, to a 9.8, which is a $1,000 book, and it'll keep climbing. It's going to become one of those blue chip titles. And this is the Savage Sword of Conan, issue number 1. So we have that in a nice crispy 9.8, and just a beautiful, beautiful book. Absolutely love having this. And I got it in the new CGC magazine case, so this is a lot sturdier than the old 9.4 I have. That one I sold once I got this. I didn't need the 9.4, I had the 9.8. And I didn't really care for the case that the 9.4 was in. It was in one of the original ones, and it just always felt like it was going to break. They did a much better job on their new cases. So, Savage Sword of Conan, issue 1. All right, just from 1974, just a beautiful book. Love having that in the collection, because if you know me, you know, I'm a big Conan fan. And last, this one was an exceptional birthday gift from an even more exceptional friend. I was fortunate enough to have two buddies come up and visit me near my birthday, and that was Anachronic Comics and Matt Wood's Comics. So Joe and Matt came up. We had a good day and a half together, relaxing. We went to a comic show. We had some dinner. We stayed up and talked, and we had some fun. But then Matt blew the whole year out of the water for me by giving me one of the most savage, incredible AOKs I've ever received in my life. Just one of the best gifts ever. This is Conan the Barbarian, starring in Savage Tales issue 1 in a 9.4. And this is a book that was always eluding me. I had missed out on a raw copy like 5 or 6 years back that was $60. And then I was never able to get another one. And it was a book that just became out of reach for me. I wasn't going to be able to get it. And but in this community, you never know what can happen, man. And, you know, Matt Woods showed up with this, and I just couldn't believe it. Like, probably one of the only gifts I've ever received that actually got me teared up a little bit. It just meant a lot. And not only because of the book, but it meant a lot from the person who gave it to me, right? Matt Woods is a guy that I have just oodles of respect for. He's one of the best people in our community. He's one of the most respectable people in our community. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, along with Anachronic Comics, Joe. And it's been an absolute honor getting to know these guys over the last couple of years. And this just takes the cake for anything. Again, this is something I was chasing that I didn't think I was ever going to own. And then it's just here through the grace and kindness of a friend of mine and someone that I hold in high regard. And it just completely melted me. So just a great book. And I look at it all the time and can't believe I have it. And just this book means so much to me, not because of just what the book is, but because of how I got it, who gave it to me, and the circumstances under which I received it. Just everything was just amazing. And this also came in as a gift to me in a year that was just especially brutal and hard. And you know, and I know the last year has been really tough for a lot of people, and I was also one of those people. It was just a rough year, but you know, you survive them, you get through it, you don't give up, you just keep moving forward, and it's just how things are, right? You never stop. Always got to move forward. But Matt delivered smiles, he delivered happy tears, and he just delivered a feeling of friendship that is rare. And I dropped it. I was so confident. Don't worry, it's fine. But it was such such a good moment. And with him and Joe coming up, it's something I'm going to always remember. It's one of those moments in your life that where you have like quite a few of them if you're lucky in your life, right? And Joe and Matt coming up, it's just something I'm not ever gonna forget. That was just such a special moment with those two guys. And but that's it, guys. That's my pickups, my key issues from last year, and my grails that I wanted to get and acquire. And I got quite a few of them out of the way. And again, like I said, I'm very niche, so a lot of those are just really affordable grails. And of course, I dropped the priciest one, but it's fine. I always make sure there's nothing around in case I do that. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. And thanks for being a part of the community. Thanks for being a part of my channel. And if you're a subscriber, thank you so much. It's been a great year for the channel. It's been a great year getting to know people. And it's been a great year for support. So once again, thank you everyone for watching. And until next time, keep it casual.